added it up. What I was paying, not just in dollars, in time, in exhaustion, in pieces of myself. And here is what I did not want to admit. Most of it was going to people who were not paying my bills, who were not signing my checks, who would not show up if everything in my life fell apart. And I was embarrassed, but I did the math anyway. That is what I call the hustle tax. When you are a Black immigrant woman building a life with no family to fall back on, you pay a tax on everything. You pay a tax on visibility, you pay a tax on approval, you pay a tax on belonging. And at 50 years old, I finally looked at the invoice and I refused to pay it. So, 7 things that I stopped paying for at 50 years old, and here are the receipts. Item 1 is the car payment. Everyone around me had one. $700 a month, new car, new payment, a new normal. I never made that payment. Not because I could not qualify, but because I could not be comfortable with it. I grew up with the concept of debt was a bad thing. So when I moved here, I didn't have family that I could call that would just stop everything and send me money. And I considered debt being a slave to a lender for something that loses value the moment that you drive it off the lot. And this felt like a trap that I could not afford to be in. And there was also pressure, not always spoken pressure, but it was present. The look that you get when you pull up in your 10-year-old paid off car, the casual questions of, oh, when are you going to replace your hoopty-doop car? The assumption that no car payment means that you cannot afford a better one. And I want to be clear about what that pressure actually was. It was not a concern for me. It was discomfort with me being debt-free in a world where debt is normalized. And I chose to stay uncomfortable with their comfort. Being embarrassed by having no debt, that is the most expensive thing that I never bought. Item number 2, designer names. And to be clear, I did not stop buying nice things. I stopped paying for other people's logos. I started asking myself one question. Am I paying for quality, or am I paying to be seen paying for quality? Those are 2 completely different transactions. One is about what the thing does for you, and the other is about what it signals to everyone watching. So if the price is right and I love it, I buy it. But I draw the line at ridiculous prices because a name is attached to it. At 50 years old, I stopped subsidizing other people's brand awareness. That's it. Item number 3, and this is the one that I need to slow down on because this is the one that costs me the most. Other people's approval, specifically approval of my body, of my appearance, of my weight. When I was a size 6 during my fitness competition days, people said that I ate like a rabbit, I was too skinny, why do you not eat? And then when I gained weight, mostly because I was having fibroids issues, I got different comments. Same energy, by the way, unsolicited comments, and completely unbothered about whether I wanted the opinion. And here's what I finally understood. There is no size, no weight, no version of your body that will satisfy a person who was never actually looking at you. They were looking at themselves and using your body to do it. The body is just the surface. The real thing that they cannot stand is a woman who takes up space without apologizing for it. And the reckoning for me was simple. Your opinion of yourself is what matters. Love on the person who is doing the work now, not the version that the world wants to see. The person actually building a life. That is the only approval that has a real return on investment. All right. Item number 4. For this one, it's drama. The receipt on this one is time. Time is the one asset that you cannot produce more of. You cannot earn it back. You cannot invest your way into producing more time. And drama is what happens when you give it to people whose normal in their life is chaos. Some people do not have drama in their life. Some people are the drama. And until you understand the difference, you will keep paying the time tax on their chaos. And that includes family too, because if you have to go no contact is an option. Distance is an option. Peace is worth more than proximity, even when proximity is blood. Item number 5, this one is easy for me. It's alcohol. I hated the taste of it since I was a teenager. Do not tell my parents. Right now, I would have a glass of wine at a social event, maybe if I had to. But at 50 years old, I stopped going along with things that I never actually wanted. And this was just one of the easiest ones for me, and I just walked away from it. Item number 6, and I need to warn you because this one goes in the opposite direction. The gym. For years, I had the $10 a month membership. The one that sounds very responsible. The one where you wait 15 minutes for the equipment to be ready and the person doesn't even wipe it down when they're done with it. The one where parking is a situation. The one where the friction of getting there, it becomes the reason that you decide you're not going, period. And here's what cheap gym memberships actually cost. Time waiting for equipment, parking tickets on the days that you are running late, the $10 that cost 30 in time and energy lost. And most importantly, the illusion that you're taking care of yourself, which is not the same thing as actually taking care of yourself. So at 50 years old, I stopped paying for the illusion and started investing in the real thing. Investing in supplements, massages, cupping treatment if you need it, stretching treatment if you need it. The things that actually work for my body at this stage of my life. The things that keep me out of the doctor's office instead of treating the consequences of ignoring myself for decades. So I did not cut this category. In fact, I upgraded it because medical bills are far more expensive than prevention. And the version of health that you buy at $10 a month is not the version that carries you through the next 30 years. Some things they are worth paying more for, and your health is at the top of that list. Item number 7, and this is the one that I am most embarrassed about, and also the one that changed everything for me. Penalties, late fees, missed tax returns. Do you know that if you miss a couple of years without filing a tax return for specific years, even if you have a return for that year, you get to a point that you lose it? And yes, that happened to me. There was a season where I felt behind on everything: bills, taxes, life. I had experienced enough financial setbacks that I stopped caring about everything. And I was ashamed of it and deeply ashamed of it too. But here's the receipt on that season. It forced me to become a minimalist. Because when you cannot pay for things, you find out which ones that you never needed in the first place. So I reduced my expenses. I reduced them so much that time that when my financial situation changed, I did not go back and get all of those things. So I looked at what was left and I was living on less and breathing easier. So the reckoning was this. A lot of what I thought that I needed was what I thought I was supposed to have, not what I actually needed to live well. And the season that I was most ashamed of stripped away everything that I was paying out of habit or performance. And what was left was what was actually mine and what I actually needed. All right, so let me do a quick recap. And here is the 7-item receipt. Car payments that I never made, designer labels that I stopped subsidizing, approval of others that I stopped chasing, especially for my body, drama that cost me time that I can never replace, things that I never actually wanted, in my health. I started investing in it instead of performing. And penalties from a season in my life that I was ashamed of. And that turned out to be the season that actually set me free. So these are my 7 line items, 7 taxes that I stopped paying at 50 years old. And here is what I fund now. Now I fund traveling around the world, my health, blow money, the category that is just for me, the things that actually fill me up instead of draining me, instead of forcing me to perform for people who are not paying my bills. When I came to this country and decided to make it my home, I built everything alone. And for a long time, I was paying a tax on that, trying to look like I had always had it together. At 50 years old, I stopped paying. And I have never been richer. All right. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Webley, and I want you to drop in the comments below and tell me, what is on your list of things that you've been paying for that you are ready to quit? I want to read every single one of your answers, and remember to hit subscribe because I will see you in the next one.